right, before we get started today, let's check back in with Derek down on pit road.
Well, Rick, right before we go green, wanted to let you know that there's only 7 drivers in the field today that were in this race last year. Robert McCallion, Tim Probert, Aaron Malkashian, the Jenkins brothers, Brett Smurs, and Harrison Williams. Those were the only guys that ran this race last year. So the field is mostly comprised of rookies and first-time racers. So there's a strong possibility we're going to see a first-time winner in victory lane today.
We'll see how it plays out, Derek. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. Glad to have you with us for the new season of Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup Racing. They fan out 5 wide into turn 1.
Boy, that's awesome. You know, and the guys are going to work with their teammates if they can, because they can trust them that they're not going to do anything stupid to them.
Plenty of action out of turn number 1. Lionel Kent, the first-timer from Powell, Tennessee, his first ever pro race, being chased by the boss, Aaron Malkashian from Sonoma, California there in car number 11 as we start downhill and head to the S's here at Road Atlanta.
S's are a great place at Road Atlanta. You know, you go blind there. It doesn't show it on the TV, but it is blind coming over the top of that hill and into this 5. Now, 5 is very important corner because it comes onto an uphill straightaway, and it's really important to carry speed onto this straight.
Got a good battle going on for third. Mark Jenkins. Oh, one car way offline and off the racetrack. Back behind that battle for third. A couple of cars fan out a couple of positions wide. Single file up front at the moment, but we've got one car in trouble as they head toward the backstretch. Leaders moving out of the backstretch. Here's another look. Nick Mancuso, Elliott.
Yeah, he got across that curb, and it just threw it. He just made one wrong connection after another. Boy, it hit the wall pretty hard, too.
The Lake Forest Sports Cars machine, Nick Mancuso, had to start at the rear, qualified well. He was put to the back for a rules infraction. Now up front, Aaron Malkashian going by Lionel Kent, his teammate in the draft, to take the lead.
Yeah, that's where the draft comes in here, and now these teammates can work together. They can start. It doesn't look like that's going to happen long, though.
Mark Jenkins in that Traxxas car, the 25 on the inside, moving to second spot now. Great 5-way battle up front. You've really got 10 cars in a bundle there.
Yeah, it is. Mark Jenkins had some reasonable races last year. This is the best I've seen him run, and this is awesome to see him running up front like this. He's getting away, too. Those guys are pulling out just a little bit on Kent.
Running order, top of your screen. Keep track of where your favorite drivers are. Mark Jenkins in second. Malkashian is the leader. Lionel Kent to the inside, wants second back and gets it.
So much for pulling away from him. He's right back in there. And, you know, the draft here and how you get off a corner, these cars and carrying speed is the most important thing.
That white number 7, Dean Copeland, started back in 6th position. He's from Bowie, Maryland. He's gotten back to that spot now behind Mark Miller in the orange and blue Mazda Owners Club machine. Miller's the guy who was an engineer out of Holland, Michigan for Team MER. Gets a chance to drive the race car all season long. Qualified well, solidly in the top 5. And how about Bray? Oh, trouble. Brett Smurs gets out of shape. One car gets into the wall. That's Copeland's machine. Copeland into the tire barrier. Several people tag him as he goes up the hill. The corner worker just losing it there as he watched that wild wreck right in front of him. All the action happening at turn 5 here. That's got to bring out at least a local yell. Let's have another look at what happened. Some wild action in the early going here at Road Atlanta in the opener for the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup. Brett Smurs got over the grass and out of shape. Fought to catch it. Meantime, behind him, Copeland just slammed the tire barrier.
Yeah, Copeland must have been not watching where he wanted to go. He was watching the car in front of him. And, you know, when Smurs' car came completely off the ground there, and that's more or less what happened to Nick. Here he comes up, hits that, across the track. He was lucky he wasn't hit by anybody else.
Wow. Dean Copeland in the 7. We were talking about how well he was doing. Caught up a couple of other cars. Brett Smurs' machine involved. I think that's Jeff Mosing there in the 31 as well out of Austin, Texas. So lots of action here. We stay green, at least for the moment. The 2 Alara cars up front. Malkashian leading the race. His teammate from Tennessee, Lionel Kent, running in second. And you've got Mark Miller back there in 4th, trailing Mark Jenkins in the fight for 3rd.
Yeah, and I think Mark Miller, you know, he was in the some of the other sessions. He was the quickest guy. So I think that in qualifying, he just didn't get a good draft to get him up front.
Let's take a look here. Justin Piscatel trying to work his way up toward the lead. In front of him, Brett Smurs got offline, airborne. That triggered the whole mess.
Yeah, you know, there is a big leap there coming off that corner. You saw Copeland also hit that and get the car completely in the air, lift it off the ground, and obviously nothing works when you're in the air.
Justin Piscatel started in 4th spot, won the Mazda Speed Challenge, the shootout that got him the ride in the series this year. Young driver, teenager from Paterson, New York, in the eastern part of New York State. Top 4 starting to separate themselves a little from the field. It's still Malkashian, Lionel Kent, Third spot belongs to Mark Jenkins, and then you've got Mark Miller. Another one of the Alara cars is there's some debris on the racetrack. This is where the wreck happened, kind of a yard sale up the hill here. And we're going to see a full course yellow on lap number 3. You can see some of the debris getting thrown up by those race cars.
Kind of a surprise that it wasn't out earlier than that, because the fact that they didn't seem like there was time to clean up the kind of mess we saw.
Now, that was a pretty violent, high-speed wreck. You don't normally see that in MX5 Cup competition, but we had a lot of new drivers, as Derek Bertosiglio pointed out before we took the green. A lot of guys just new to this kind of racing. Another look from Justin Piscatel's on board here.
Oh, there's the piece coming
Wow.
out. Oh, man. That is nasty. Looks like it took out the camera.
Yeah, flying toward an open-top car. Not what you want to see if you're a young driver.
No, I don't think you ever want to see anything flying towards you when you're in a race car. Too many things can happen, whether it's an open car or a closed car, and the broken windshield's not good either. Holy cow.
That is the 31 car, Jeff Mosing's machine. The race now for Autism MX5 Cup car out of Austin, Texas. He's finished for the day here at Road Atlanta. Coverage of the 2009 Playboy Mazda MX5 Cup is being brought to you today by Mazda. On any given weekend, more Mazdas are road race than any other brand. And by BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.